here's what I would look at. If you're looking to buy a rental property right now, the three things you want to look at, number one, is you want to go to a place that's landlord friendly. And I know some of you here on this call are in California. That is the opposite of landlord friendly. So if you're somewhere where there's rent controls, don't invest there. If you're somewhere that it takes you a year to get rid of a bad tenant, don't invest there, because you have zero security as a landlord. You're one bad tenant away from losing your real estate career. So that's the number one thing. Where is it? Go somewhere where it's landlord friendly. That's one of the reasons why I picked Atlanta. Very landlord friendly. We can get rid of a bad tenant typically in around 3 weeks or so, if not sooner. You're never going to have the bank call you up and say, hey, I know you're struggling to get money from your tenant. You don't need to pay us until you get that money. That's never going to happen. So you're still on the hook for the mortgage, the property taxes, the insurance. Those bills are coming out whether you get rent or not. So be really careful. That's the first thing you should look at. And most people don't, by the way. And they go to the third thing I'm going to teach you. The second thing you need to look at is where's the depreciation coming from? So most of my wealth came from my homes going up in value. Imagine that you had that crystal ball 2 years ago before COVID, and you knew there's going to be a shortage of homes and the prices were going to do what they did in almost every market. So when I look at Atlanta, it's probably gone up in the last 2 years, 40 or 50%. It's gone up substantially. So imagine 2 years ago, you knew that, or you had a choice. You could have bought there, or you could have bought in a market that didn't appreciate over the last 2 years because you were chasing after that extra $100 in rent that you thought you were going to get. So number two thing that you want to look at is, where is the appreciation going to happen? So I'm going to give you a clue. Right now, post-COVID, things have changed a lot. People are moving away from the downtown core in a lot of cases, where they used to have to go and go to an office building to work. A lot of them are doing exactly what we're doing right now. They're on Zoom, and they don't have to go to an office anymore. So they would rather be further away, get a nicer, newer property with more land, more playgrounds, more amenities for the family, and they don't see the need to be downtown anymore. So that's one of the trends that's happening. Another trend that's happening is a lot of people lost their businesses and their jobs during COVID. So where are they going? They're going somewhere, number one, affordable, and number two, where are the jobs being created? So if you look at, I'm going to use Atlanta again, just because I'm very familiar with it. If you look at Atlanta, the government is very business friendly, and so they offer all kinds of tax incentives so that businesses will want to move there. And they know that when the businesses move there, they're going to hire a bunch of people that they can tax. They still get their tax dollars, but they just collect it a different way. They don't get it from the businesses, they get it from the employees. So where you want to go is the path of progress. You want to get into markets before everybody's gotten there. And that's where the big win comes from. And like I said earlier, all those properties that I sold where I made 25 and 30 grand that I could sell them now for 700,000-800,000 more. I wish I had a ton of those, but I don't. But in any case, the appreciation is what's really got me to the point where I could buy enough properties and scale my business to have the cash flow that I now need to support my lifestyle. So number two, where is the appreciation going to happen? Then the third thing is what everybody goes for first. What's my return going to be? How much rent will I get relative to purchase price? And that's important to know. But if you go for that first, it doesn't really matter, because you're going to create what I call paper returns. If you were to buy in, let's pick Los Angeles, and I know some of you are from that area. If you're to buy in LA and you got one bad tenant, even if you had a deal that looked like a smoking deal where the rent is, and this wouldn't happen in California, but where the home was cheap and the rent was high, even if you were able to get that, well, as soon as you get a tenant that can't afford to pay you, if they know how to work the system, and they all know how to work the system, and you don't get any rent for a year, well, what's that going to do to your bottom line? That property, it looked like it was going to net you this much, you might be taking a loss on. And so it's so important to look for those three things in the right order if you're buying a long-term rental property. For short-term rental property, somewhat similar, but you really want to focus obviously on where people are vacationing and where as somebody who's been traveling a lot, some of the places I've gone to have really picked up, and others not so much. There's still not a lot of people going to them. So do some research, see what the other Airbnbs are doing. Go on Airbnb, see how easy it is to rent them. There's also stuff like AirDNA. I don't use it. I have people on my team that know how to use all that stuff. But there's different ways to check where the hotspots are for Airbnb. So make sure that you're in one of those before you jump in. Hey, Mike Wolf here. Today I'm in a place called Bansko, which is in Bulgaria, Eastern Europe. And this is my first time here. I've been traveling around Europe for a couple of months now. And this is, I think, my 7th country so far, and many more to come. But it's all possible because of the passive income I've created through real estate. So if you want to learn how to do this too, make sure you click the link below. We'll have a conversation to see if my Wolf Pack, which is my mentorship program, is right for you.